Welcome everyone to our live session 2024 Logistics Business Optimization, Maximizing Efficiency and Revenue. Today we're going to discuss top 5 trends in logistics industry and strategies for capitalizing on these trends and ensuring success in 2024. I'm Maria, Sworkz Marketing Manager. I've been working on the last years on creating effective marketing strategies for B2B companies, and right now I'm working with Sworkz. We are nearshoring and staffing solutions company, and I'm here with Jason Santana, who is Sworkz Chief Revenue Officer. Hi, Jason.
How's it going, Maria? Thank you for having me.
Thank you for talking today. Can you tell us a little bit more about your experience?
Sure. So thanks for the introduction. I'm excited to be here today. My experience has been kind of, a long career in sales and marketing, and really focusing around operations, and the Chief Revenue Officer role specifically kind of combines all of those things into one to help drive the company forward and really maximize on our go-to-market strategy in partnership with marketing and others. So I'm super excited to be here today. This is a great topic. I love learning about the logistics industry. I've spent a lot of time digging in, and I think it's going to be a great conversation. So thank you.
Amazing, thank you. So right now many companies are facing revenue challenges in an unpredictable market. So leaders are looking for innovative ways or strategies to tackle this to successfully grow their business. It is about preparation for growth and efficiently allocating their resources. So I wanted to ask you, Jason, what major trends did you anticipate will shape the logistics industry in 2024?
So there's a lot, and I think the logistics industry. What I love about the industry in and of itself is that it's at the heart of global trade, right? And global trade is at the heart of the global economy. So some of the things that we're seeing aren't too different from I guess what we're experiencing in our personal lives, right? So one of the biggest ones is e-commerce, right? E-commerce is booming right now. It's expected to go, I think, by 2030 to be $1 to $2 trillion, right? So it's massively expanding.
Yeah.
So I think that to me is one of the biggest challenges, or not challenges, but trends that we're seeing, is that everyone continues to buy online, and online shopping has led to massive demand, and it's impacting the distribution channels, and one of the biggest pieces is last mile delivery, right?
You go.
So same day, next day expectations from consumers like ourselves, right? Because we shop online. We're expecting it faster, and we're expecting it to come to us, as soon as possible. So I think last mile is just continuing to grow, and the focus on last mile is becoming so big. So that's just e-commerce, right? There's other things, sustainability. This is a big one. I think companies are really increasing their focus, and the industry is really increasing its focus on sustainability. And this isn't just a fad, right? So when we say the word trend, sometimes people can misinterpret that as a fad. Sustainability is here to stay. Here in the U.S., there are, corporations are really being held to, especially publicly traded corporations, are being held to ESG standards, which require certain levels of government, and sustainability is part of that. So I think as companies grow into 2024 and look to the future, embracing a focus on sustainability and really focusing on the rise of environmental concerns, because your customers are going to care about that. If you're selling to large corporations, or if you're selling to an individual, people care about sustainability, and they can and so embracing and prioritizing green practices throughout your supply chain, it really will help propel your business forward in 24, because these are things that aren't changing, right? Sustainability is here to stay, right? So I have a list. I'm big on lists, right? So my third point.
Let's keep them coming. Coming.
My third point is technology. So if anyone has kind of encountered me online or encountered me in real life, technology is a major underpinning of this industry, but it's also a major underpinning of all industries right now. But specifically advances in technology, in the logistics world, right? Automation, robotics, AI. Is really critical. The internet obviously is massively important and critical to the e-commerce component. These are all reshaping the logistics industry, though, right? So optimization of operations is critical, right? Improving visibility and streamlining processes are also really big. So I think we put out an ebook, and in the ebook we discuss a couple examples specifically, and Amazon warehousing, the way that they leverage robotics to truly. And it's not so much about if people think it's like, oh, it's just efficiency. It is efficiency, right? They can, robots are efficient. They can work continuously with limited downtime. But the other piece to that is if you're running a business, the one thing that one of the stats I saw that was staggering in the Amazon example is their decrease in workplace injuries. Right, so they were able to decrease risk of their employees, which ultimately decreases cost for the business, and it keeps their employees healthy and happy,
and safe.
And safe, exactly, right? So I think there's a lot more to technology than just making us more efficient, right? Like I think there are other exactly. And then a couple of the so my fourth point is supply chain resilience. We saw massive supply chain disruptions during COVID-19. So we've never seen anything like it, right? And I think it really highlighted the importance of building resilient supply chains. Diversifying suppliers like is something that was huge. I mean, if you look at the automotive industry during COVID and the pandemic, and there were just parts of the world where parts for vehicles were being made only in one space, and if that one space was shut down completely, they were not able to literally build a car. So diversifying suppliers, diversifying manufacturing, and really building more agile logistics strategies across your supply chain is critical for growth, not only in 24 but into the future. So I think we learned a really, really valuable lesson in COVID, and the pandemic taught us a lot of lessons. And one of them is, in this industry, really, we have to figure out how to build resiliency because it just crippled so many industries.
I have to agree with all of the points that you've been mentioning. As being part of, attending to a lot of events that we had this year with Sworkz, this e-commerce and the part of last mile delivery was gaining so much traction. The amount of companies that are focusing on that part within the logistics industries are huge, which is like something different that we see, because we've seen like a downside on the market, like less freight brokers companies have been created in the past year, but we don't see the same trend with the last mile delivery one. As you said, there's a lot of e-commerce boom right now that we already knew about it, but that takes us to look for new technology, and not just because of the efficiency, but it's to keep maybe the collaborators of your company safe in the case of Amazon, but actually helping each other to maximize and to actually be responsive to what the market really needs right now.
No, I agree with you completely, and I think and we'll talk a little bit more about last mile, because I think it is so critical to success in the near term, but also success in the long term. So my last point before I close out on my my 5 points is data-driven decision making, right? So I am my background is in sales and marketing and operations, but I also spent a lot of time in data, and I started out my career as a data scientist. So data has always been the underpin, the foundation of my career. And I think data-driven decision making, we have the thing about data now is we have so much. We've got more data than we've ever had before. So the tools that we have now to analyze it are getting better and better and better, right? So AI and other really complex algorithms are really helping to interpret these large amounts and large volumes of data that we're getting, which is allowing us to make better decisions. Is actually allowing the computers that operate and create more efficiency to make better decisions. And it makes us it makes for better forecasting, better route optimization, inventory management, whatever it is, you name it. It's helping us to be more efficient. So while all of these technology advances are really great for all the things we talked about, I think the data that feeds them is just getting better, and we're starting to get a lot better. So really focusing on data decision make, or data, our data infrastructures to help us make better decisions is kind of another foundational component of what we should be focusing on with regard to trends and the future. So those are my 5 points. But I do want to talk more about the last mile piece, because I think it's really important.
Yep.
Because I think that the landscape of the logistics industry is shifting because of demand. I think you've really hit it, like when you said that.
The buyers are changing also.
Yeah. I think that we are. Everyone is online today. Every company is online. Yeah. Everyone is leveraging online e-commerce in some shape, shape or fashion. So it's just going to be, it's a race to who can get it there faster, who can get it there more efficiently, right? That's the key is, last mile is typically expensive. And the last mile is one of the more expensive components of your supply chain. So, if we can figure out ways to reduce those costs, and reduce also on top of that, reduce the environmental impact of that too, because a lot of that is truck driven and that last mile. So how do we leverage technology? How are we better? How do we become more efficient at leveraging or improving the last mile component of the supply chain? It's massively important, and it's only going to get more important because people are going to want things, same day, right? And we're already seeing it. Like there are some places in this country where I can order something on Amazon and it's here tomorrow. And I mean, it's here that afternoon. And I think that just, when you think about that changes the landscape of how you warehouse and how you actually almost interpret or predict customer demand. Because you have to understand your customers really well, and you have to understand buying patterns really well in order to make sure that you have products in those places that they can get there quickly. This has probably been one of the most interesting experiences in my career, working with Sworkz around this stuff, because it's a fascinating industry, and I think all of these trends that are happening right now are things that aren't going away. So if you want to if you're looking to be successful in this industry, you need to adopt, the strategy to address these specific things.
Yeah, and it all comes down to the people, because all of the changes that we're seeing are actually because of the buyer intent. The e-commerce boom is because people are ordering online. Sustainability is because people are demanding companies to be sustainable. And the technology and the supply chain resilience you needed at the end so you can meet their demands. So it's very interesting how the whole industry can change just depending on the buyer intent and what the buyer actually needs you to do. So you already made your point with all of this list of the trends that we're gonna keep seeing, or some things new for 2024. So my question to you is, how can business leaders in the logistics industry capitalize on these trends to ensure their success in 2024?
Yeah. So, I think they need to embrace. So again, if we were to attack all five, right? So I think you need to, embrace technological innovation, right? Invest and adopt technologies around automation, robotics, AI, because we do need to improve efficiency. We need to enhance customer experience. That is a major component of this. The interesting thing about it is, it starts at the point of sale. Maybe even starts at the point of production and materials. But once you get to that, that point of sale, the expectations become so much greater to get that product into that person's hand, and the product and that last, again, this is why last mile is so important. That last mile of purchase to delivery is so critical to the customer experience. Because if I think something is coming, if I can order something from someone that comes tomorrow, or if I have to order something that comes in a week, I'm likely going to stick to the person who can get it to me faster, right? So that's not and that expectation is only going to continue to grow, because we expect things fast. It's just who we are. We're humans. So I think that embracing those technologies and really improving those efficiencies, reducing costs in those areas, will be really critical to the growth of a business. Because obviously, as a business, everyone knows, like you either have revenue. If you want to grow your business, you either have to make revenue or cut costs. If you could do both, then you are growing and being and you're really seeing explosive growth, right? Reduction of cost and improvement of revenue is the holy grail. Yeah. So I would say that prioritize sustainability. Again, implementation of green and sustainable practices. It's not going away. It's not going away. Everyone is focused on it. We need to optimize transportation routes to reduce, emissions. Looking at alternative ways, alternative fuel vehicles is going to be a big one. We're already seeing it. A lot of electronic vehicles out there. I keep on hearing about the drones. I haven't seen them yet. I'm waiting for my package. I am so waiting for my package to be dropped in my house by a drone. I can't wait.
Your Domino's pizza. You can't wait for your Domino's pizzas to be delivered on a drone.
Yeah. I'm so excited for this. I'm waiting for it. I'm just like, when is it going to happen? But yeah, I mean, that kind of stuff where, you can take out really costly and expensive components of that last mile will be really critical to driving down costs and improving the customer experience. So sustainability is really big, and enhancing visibility and transparency. I think I really like what some companies are doing with real-time tracking, where I can actually see my delivery is 5 stops away. I don't know why, but I love that. I'm like, it's the same thing with when I use DoorDash, or I like to see where my person is, but it's the same concept. And I think inherently humans, we love the ability to kind of see how things are progressing. So I think that, that's why Domino's, you brought up Domino's, that Domino's puts the pizza tracker in there, right? So you can see your pizza's in the oven, your pizza's being delivered. So I think real-time enhancement of visibility and transparency and tracking is going to be something that these leaders need to embrace and make investments into. I think you mentioned this before. You have to develop agility and resiliency in your supply chain. Really proactively, if you're looking for strategies here, proactively assess and adjust your supply chain strategies to build that resiliency against any disruptions. And we have to it's really hard. No one saw that pandemic coming. It literally, the world shut down on March 16th in 2020. We weren't prepared for that. I don't think anyone could. But now that should have been a lesson to all of us to say, okay, how are we preparing for potential disruptions, whether they're small or massive? And how are we building that resiliency? So are we taking time to really dig into our strategy around our supply chain, our suppliers, maybe increasing or enhancing inventory management, and really building strong relationships with multiple suppliers throughout your supply chain so that you don't run into that situation. Again, and I mentioned it before, but continue to dive into analytics and data. It is, it is the most powerful tool we have to help keep us informed. And the better we get at capturing data, and the better we get at leveraging that data to make, to create predictive insights, to help us make better decisions, to help us improve routes and make things more efficient and more sustainable, I think is something that I think we all need to do. So really make those investments in those 5 areas will help these companies be more successful in 24.
Yeah, just to add a little bit more on the data, is you cannot keep doing the Excel or the Google Sheet anymore for the data. There's so much data. You need CRMs, you need software, you need these platforms are already specialized to do that work for you. So you can have you can take better decisions, informed decisions based on the data of your customers or the prospects that you want to tackle. Okay, Jason, thank you so much for letting us know more about how leaders can actually implement these key points. You were mentioning the importance of reducing cost and increasing your revenue as a holy grail, right? So we have clear these strategies to make that happen. But one question that pops in my mind is how we can actually implement those strategies. What's the holy grail of the holy grail?
Well, I would say, the one thing I would say that's a real kind of, that's a common thread that runs through all of this is you need to have the right people to do it, right? And I think that's something that it seems like a simple answer, right? It's like, oh, well, how do we execute on these strategies? Well, you need people to do it. And yeah, you do, right? So I think, so for the things that cost money, you need to invest in those things, right? And I think companies need to make sure they're investing in the technology the sustainability, building transparent in tracking, and building effective supply chain, and investing in their data infrastructure. Right, all those investments are critical. The other investment that makes all of this work is your investment in people. Right, you need to invest in your people, because the way I look at it is new trends, they lead to new opportunities and challenges, and the only way to solve for those new opportunities and challenges to find the new skills that are required in order to execute. Right, so I think that's the thing, is like each of these strategies requires a very specific set of skills and highly skilled talent to execute on each one of them. Right, so you have to remain flexible in the face of growing socioeconomic and sociopolitical changes around the world, but in order to do that, you need to expand your talent network to find the highly skilled talent to keep pace, right? Because there's a lot of these newer skills aren't historically in these companies, right? So these challenges are creating new skill sets that are required, but many companies don't have those skill sets. You have to find it.
I agree completely, and I was just remembering something, a post that I saw like literally 2 hours ago. Jay, someone that I know from the industry, Jay posted, what industry or skill do you think will experience the most significant disruption in the next decade, and why? And I posted just ability to use AI as a matter of a joke, because if you don't have people that actually have that ability of just like consulting or being on top of the trends and on top of the technology that they need to execute the best their responsibilities or the daily tasks that they have, you're not doing anything.
It's so true. It's funny that you actually said that, because it is one of those things where AI it sometimes gets a bad rap, because people are very concerned about AI taking away jobs. And I think that there shouldn't be any concern about that, because AI is meant to really enhance and augment our performance as humans.
Our performance.
But you bring up a really good point. Like, we have to be open to learning how to interact with it. And I think that the skill sets required for that are going to require some learning, right? So for people who are in current jobs to learn those types of things, but for also companies to find the talent out there that knows how to do that, right?
Willing to learn that.
Or willing to learn, exactly, yeah. And I think that there is transferability of skills, because I think the cool thing about AI is that we know how to do our jobs. But with AI in our corner, we can say, like, I know how to do my job, but I'm going to interact with this tool and I'm going to do my job 10 times faster, right? Or 10 times better. And then, oh, by the way, now I have freed up my time to go do things that I really want to do or love to do. So it's so true. So I think that's one of the big pieces to all of this. Like, we can talk about trends in the industry, we can talk about solutions and strategies to achieve those the growth that you want to achieve. But if you don't have the right people and you don't have the right skills, then you're never going to get to any of these places.
Agreed. No, you go.
Okay, sorry. And I was going to say, one of the things that I love, and this is like something that kind of shameless plug for me, and kind of this is why I came here, right? This is why I came to work at Sworkz, right? Like, I think because it's serious, because I think one of the challenges that we see is that we tend to try and find talent in the same places, right? And I think that we have a world out there where talent exists in other places, but we haven't created the bridges to access it, right? And I think that that's the idea, is that let's create more of a flat earth when it comes to talent sourcing, and let's find talent beyond borders, right? And I think that's a really important thing for companies that are looking to enhance their ability to grow into these new areas and to achieve success in the face of new trends and new challenges, is to make sure you find diverse perspectives and diverse talent elsewhere. And don't pigeonhole yourself into just one market.
Yeah, I think I agree. I agree with you, and that's why we believe in what we're doing here at Sworkz as a nearshoring staffing company. We are allowing US and Canadian businesses connect with top tier talent, multilingual talent. There are postgraduates, there are graduates from universities. There are people super smart, capable, and they speak up to 2, 3, 4 languages, and which is people tell me all the time, which is crazy, right? And this talent is also super highly motivated, and it's something that I already said to you that I'm so proud of us. It's like having 95% retention rate. It's something that within this industry is very rare. You know, there's high turnover, but we cover the culture. We care about our people, and when you have high productivity or high motivation, it leads to high productivity, and that's why our clients are so happy with the talent that they are accessing and they're keeping, so they can keep growing, and we handle everything. So that's something that they just tell us they love all the time, because they can also focus on bringing new strategies or finding ways to reduce costs, improve the revenue, while we focus on what they don't have more time for that. We do the contract, payroll. They don't have to worry about anything on taxes. They do only pay us a monthly flat fee, and that's it. And we set up their team, we find the top tier talent, we present it to them, they just give it a go. I just love it, and I know maybe happens to you, but I've been questioned 2 times if I'm a co-founder of this company just because I love talking about Sworkz. I'm not a co-founder, but it's just the love that you put into your company. It's also in the way that you're gonna see the results, and having the right people is gonna allow you to be on top of the trends, and not only on top, but you're gonna be up front of your competitors, and being able to actually give the results that your customers are needing at the moment.
No, I agree with you, and I think that's why I brought up the talent piece at the end there, because I think you can talk about the trends, and you can talk about even the strategies from a business perspective, right? So like as executives, these are what you should be focusing on. These are the trends, and these are the things you should be strategically implementing. But beyond trends and strategies, there is that point of execution and that point of making sure you have the right skill sets to achieve these goals. And I think that's why I brought it up, because it is so important to find the right talent. But the thing is this, I think, you brought up a really good point, and it's like, if you're able to find talent where it actually is, maybe more cost effective for your business, with less liability and less risk, but they maintain, they have the same skills, maybe even better skills, and they maybe bring diverse perspectives, and they maybe speak multiple they speak multiple languages. Because I think we are in a global economy. I think that sometimes what companies, and executives, we sometimes forget. Because we are so focused on some major markets, right? But if you actually look at where e-commerce has really kind of just smashed down borders and allows us to really you could have even small businesses now that are global, right? You can have a small business that's global, and maybe 20 years ago it would be really hard for a 10-person company that manufactures some widget to be able to sell into the European market, or into the Middle Eastern market, or into somewhere else, in the Asian market. Like it's crazy, because now we are at a point where a small business can do that. And it's no longer just local, it's global. So you need the talent for that.
You need to diversify. That's as you said, it's key for a company to be resilient. It's just like what we learned after COVID is like, you need to diversify. You need to not put all of your eggs in the same bucket. I don't know if it's the right expression to name it, but it is very important. And as you were saying, you can save up to 40% per headcount, which is insane. So that helps you reallocate resources in other areas that your business needs. Technology, we were just talking about it. You need the resources for that. So you need to reduce costs in other parts of your company, or seeking other ways to optimize it. And that's why we want to give access to more companies to this option, so they can focus on growth while we handle the rest of the things. Well, I think that's it. Thank you so much, Jason, for giving us a little bit more of insights of the trends and how to implement them. Thank you so much, everyone, for watching. If you want to know more about the logistics trends for 2024, make sure to download our ebook, The Logistics Revolution, Trends Shaping 2024. We'll be leaving here the link to download. And well, if you want to know more information about Sworkz, make sure to check our website. It's sworkzgroup.com. Or follow us on LinkedIn. You can find us also as Sworkz, or you can shoot me a message, or Jason. We're here to help you.
Awesome. Well, thank you so much. Bye, guys.
Bye-bye.